After talking about the young upstart and the middling middle brother, today we dive into the family's eldest, Hades, the mythological scapegoat, the misunderstood Dark Lord whose cinematic portrayals never quite do him justice. Always cast as the villain, with that neon hair and that penchant for betrayal, but it's time we scrub Hades' record a bit cleaner. Hades, the fourth child in a family of 6, is cut from a different cloth than his younger brothers. Unlike them, he's introverted, despises hypocrisy, and, let's be honest, is a bit of a simp. The man's romantic resume is simple. He snatched up Persephone as his bride and didn't bother with another dalliance. Rarely does he clink goblets with the rowdy lot on Olympus. Only when a pressing matter of the cosmos arises does he leave his subterranean home to be by his wife's side. Sure, Hades has a greedy streak just like his siblings, but he's not out there chasing power or lust. His sights are set on accumulation, on the steady accrual of wealth beneath the Earth's surface. As the chief administrator of Olympus's mineral resources, he manages all precious metals, amassing a treasury funded by those seeking eternal rest. In fact, Hades is the wealthiest of the Greek gods, a symbol of abundance and the keeper of earthly riches. The ancient Greeks, in both reverence and fear, used Hades' name to refer to the underworld itself. Uttering it was risky. A superstition suggested it might hasten one's journey to his realm. Instead, they called him Pluton, the distributor of wealth, from which the Roman Pluto takes its roots. Hades is often depicted with a stern countenance, seated on his throne wearing a helm of invisibility and gripping his bident. Essentially, it's Poseidon's trident, but with a pruned, two-prong aesthetic, fittingly understated for the god who keeps a world of wealth locked away, yet remains forever lurking in the shadows. They say you can't take anything with you when you die, but Hades, the eternal landlord of the dead, gets to hold on to all their cash. His realm, a place untouched by sunlight or moonbeams, is as dark and chilly as you'd imagine. Essentially, it's like Hanoi, surrounded by 5 rivers, each with its own morbid personality. First, there's Acheron, the river of woe, setting the mood for all who cross. Cocytus follows, where souls can weep and wail to their heart's content. Then comes the fiery Phlegethon, a scorcher by any standards. The fourth, Lethe, also known as the River of Oblivion, serves up forgetfulness on tap. Any spirit entering the underworld is obliged to drink from Lethe and wipe away memories of their previous life. And, of course, the most notorious of them all, Styx. Styx, granddaughter of the titan Okeanos, chose Olympus's side during the Titanomachy. As a reward, Zeus made her a river in the underworld, eternally flowing with the corpses of the dead. In a similarly twisted reward system, Acheron, which once supplied water to the Titans in that same battle, was condemned to flow through the underworld as punishment for its rebellious hydration services. It's difficult to understand the mechanics of Zeus's carrot and stick policy. Styx, however, also earned a revered role as the divine witness to the gods' oaths. Legends vary, but some say that whenever a god makes an oath on Styx, Iris swoops down to the underworld, scoops up a quick glass of Styx water, extra chilled with black pearls, and brings it back for the god to rinse 3 times before swearing. Breaking an oath on Styx is no small matter. Any god foolish enough to cross it will be sentenced to a year of deep sleep. Beyond that, they face a 9-year suspension, effectively barred from all divine gatherings, a mighty punishment in the celestial social circuit. Returning to Hades' realm, the underworld's bizarre bureaucracy awaits every soul. Once the recently deceased step into the afterlife, they're met by Hermes, who dons his psychopomp persona, a sort of death escort gig, to guide them to the banks of either the Styx or Acheron. Think of it like needing to find the ferryman on the river Styx, much like one would need a boatman to cross the rugged Daw River. For souls, the Styx's boatman is Charon, son of Erebus, eternal darkness, and Nyx, night personified. Charon's not just there to paddle, he's also a toll collector. 2 coins, please. Bot fees for crossing to the other side. Hence the ancient Greek funeral tradition of placing a coin in the deceased's mouth. Those unlucky enough to die unaccompanied or with forgetful kin end up stranded, eternally marooned between worlds. Once souls manage to bribe their way across the Styx, they meet Cerberus, Hades' notorious 3-headed watchdog. His job? Ensure the dead stay put. No sneaking back to the land of the living for a second chance at life. After the doghouse comes the courthouse. Here, 3 grim judges, Rhadamanthus, Minos, and Aeacus, assess each soul's character. The virtuous are whisked off to the Elysian fields for eternal relaxation, while the vile are condemned to unending torment in the depths of the underworld. At the heart of this shadowy empire lies Hades' palace, an opulent fortress of gold and precious stones. Persephone once said it could rival Olympus itself, though the exclusivity is on another level. No soul finds this palace without Hades' explicit permission, no matter how worn their sandals might get from wandering the dark. Though Hades rules over the realm of the dead, he's not exactly the god of death. That job belongs to Thanatos, a grim figure draped in black with vast, dark wings and a peculiar fondness for fresh coconuts. Thanatos tends to show up right as someone breathes their last, sword in hand, ready to sever the soul from the body like sipping coconut water. Beyond Thanatos and Hades' trio of judges, the underworld boasts a roster of assistants to help keep the dead in line. First up, the Erinyes, goddesses of retribution, eagerly await orders from Hades to mete out punishment with a mix of whip and verbal abuse. Basically your mother's lecture, but divinely enhanced. Then there's the Keres. While Thanatos specializes in collecting the souls of the peacefully departed, the Keres are tasked with the violent end of the spectrum, haunting battlefields and snatching up souls from amidst the carnage. Even Hypnos, the god of sleep, serves under Hades' banner. Though not particularly powerful, his poppy flowers could lull anyone into a stupor. Even Zeus himself can't resist Hypnos' drowsy charm. With just a few gentle passes, Hypnos can send gods and mortals alike spiraling into a deep, dreamy haze. As for Hades' staff, they're not exactly the cheeriest bunch, but none are quite as unsettling as Hecate, the three-headed, six-armed goddess born of Titans Perses and Asteria. Hecate oversees all things monstrous and macabre in the underworld, specters, hellhounds, and the occasional TikToker wandering her way. She prowls graveyards and crossroads, spreading dread to anyone unlucky enough to cross her path, dishing out curses with a splash of fake news to sweeten the scare. Mortals terrified of Hecate would erect statues at crossroads and offer up dogs as sacrifices. Considered the matriarch of all witchcraft and dark magic, Hecate eventually gained a reputation as a patron and instigator of all things wicked. Some scholars believe Hecate originally hailed from the east, only later receiving her Greek residency. So I'd boldly speculate that an eastern edition of Hecate would wield a fire-tipped spear in one hand, a heaven and earth scroll in the other, and sport flame wheel rollerblades to match her frenetic, devil-may-care attitude.